So, yeah, I'm really happy that we're all here together, and yesterday we had the opening of your wonderful exhibition. So today we're meeting for this conversation in a private setting. Before we start, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself, just shortly with the name and with the works maybe, and that also some of you are mentioning the artists that are not present, because we have 7 artists in the exhibition, and you're in 4 here, so 3 people were not able to make it to come. Yeah. So who wants to start?
Okay. I can start. My name is Häggström, and I'm based in Malmö, and I'm mostly do animations and larger installations.
Yeah, my name is Désirée Burenstrand, Schyman, and I'm working mostly with painting installations, and also based in Malmö.
Hello, I'm Johan. I do performances and collaborations with other artists in sound mostly. I'm married to this woman here, and we live together in Malmö, Sweden.
Johan Sandström is my name. I am a painter and also working with sculpture and installation, collaborating with Dan on some sound objects, and I am also running Molekyl gallery in Malmö.
You want to say something, like mention the other 3 artists that are missing?
Yes, we are missing Timo Menke, which we have here, works, and Hillbom and Manderla. And they are also, we are all based in Malmö. So. Yeah.
No, not Timo.
No, Timo, exactly. He's in Stockholm.
Yeah, he's based in Stockholm.
Yeah, he's based in Stockholm.
Okay, so essentially this exhibition happened over like the collaboration with Molekyl, because we sort of met at several occasions at the supermarket, art fair in Stockholm, and over Swedish friends. So I think that was already for some time sort of on schedule to do something together. So it's really nice that it works out today or now in this exhibition. So the name of this exhibition is, I hope I can say it right. In Swedish, it's Rymdprogrammet. Was that correct?
Yes.
Almost. Okay, so it translates into the space program. So, this space program is an ongoing, longer format you have. There is also a special platform for that, and this exhibition is called, as an addition, like Refectorium. So maybe you can say something about the space program, the Rymdprogrammet.
The Rymdprogrammet is a platform for artistic cooperations and collaborations, and it's inventing itself every time it does something. So everything it's new people in it or old people in it, but it's different kind of collaboration, and this is a collaboration that everybody is doing their own art, but we are making the curation together, and we have worked with this name now, Refectorium, that Désirée came up with, relating to das ESSZIMMER, because Refectorium is the name of the dining room of a monastery.
Yeah.
So felt like a very good word or.
But it is, I came up with because during the process in this collaboration with ESSZIMMER, when I saw the plan, sketches for this space and some photos of the space, and I grabbed some associations to a really specific monastery in the south and east in Sweden called Maria Wall Monastery, and an architecture, Hans van der Laan, who built this in 1990, so it's very similar to this space, I think.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was starting to think about the association came from that. Yeah.
I didn't know that reference, but I was sort of reading up a little bit on the meaning of this word, Refectorium.
Yeah.
And I mean, it goes much beyond this that it's like the meeting and eating space of a monastery. So it's actually also places where you, like a reinstallment, so you are like also a healing place. So so I found that interesting in reference to an exhibition and an exhibition space, because that also refers to that an exhibition space could be like a sort of a healing space, or that it's a space where you go in and you are transformed. You leave in a different way than you came in. So that's also a reference the term Refectorium sort of refers to. So that I really liked. I wasn't aware of that. So I was really happy that I learned more about this term, and I like the reference and the connection with the name of this space. So that's really nice. So how many I don't know, exhibitions did you under this frame of this space program already? Or when did you set it up? It's quite fresh, or
it started in 2019, and we were 2 artists working together, and then thought about inviting others to be able to do things we couldn't do.
Yeah.
So it's much about having different themes and people with different skills working together and giving each other new ideas and new perspectives. So we have done a lot of workshops, and maybe I think it's 5 exhibitions, and it's going well. I think we are on our way up. It has been very fun to work with this concept, the space program, because it's so open. And it's this thing about the space, also the gallery space,
right.
And to explore different places and different architectures.
Was there a particular reason why you? I mean, often this kind of projects pop up because you're not happy with a certain situation, or you're frustrated, or you I don't know. Usually you're coming up with things like that when you're not sort of happy with something. So was there any kind of?
It's quite funny. It was me and my colleague Mats Andersson. We thought our names was not so good to use as in the name of the collaboration, because our last names Sandström and Andersson, it's the name of a gallery in Stockholm.
Okay, so
a very famous gallery.
It's something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had to find something else, and then when we came up with the idea to invite also other artists, then we thought about what can we name this project, and then we thought about NASA and the
lifting up to the sky.
So I can't explain it in other ways. Sometimes it feels a little bit heavy with this name, and sometimes it's very inspiring.
And it's and let's put it that way. It's sort of also a bit like nomadic. So
Absolutely.
it doesn't really is connected to a special space. So it can happen almost everywhere.
Yeah, that's the point. Molekyl gallery is like the base, and we use the program for exchanges. So when Molekyl is doing exchanges like this, we use this concept. So
to actually also expand the physical art space of Molekyl, because that you cannot really transport. So it's a certain non-flexibility. So that's like the addition.
Exactly, and it's a nice combination with Molekyl gallery and the space program. There is something very, very small and something very big.
Okay, so thanks for the introduction. I think we go now to the rooms in the space and to sort of see what's there, and then maybe you can say a few words to it. It's more to sort of get a glimpse a little bit, an impression of what is there, and to hear your ideas about it, maybe. And so when you start with this kind of view, so that's actually what you see when you enter the exhibition space. And the first things you see are, of course, it's two screens and it's with animations that are for you, Oscar. So maybe you can tell us a bit about this animation, what we're seeing there, and it's I don't know, for how long are you doing this kind of animation videos?
I've been doing it since I started school. I've always been interested in this like cartoon and comic medium, and I mean drawing is the basis of all my work. And this special work, I puff. It's kind of it's a line taken from Three Little Piglets, and it's kind of the wolf that come and he's starting to blow out the house, and he's so like he's so tiresome, and like he acts himself up, and it's something about being tired, because I often with this kind of work I start in words and try to associate things with those words. And when I knew that we had the title Refectorium, it's like in Latin, it's like invigorate. It's something about restarting and things like that. And in this animation work, a lot of the themes I'm dealing with is the big idea about optimization and looping, and something about, I don't know, like your relationship to technology and how much or how little affect us. So that is kind of one of the aspects that I'm working with. And I'm also interested as with video as a medium and how you can present it in a larger room, or like in installation settings. How can you give video a body? Can you work it towards some kind of a sculpture setting? So that is one way to give the animation a body in some way, because then it's something about video and animation. It's the idea of duration. It has a start and a finish. You watch a movie and then it's done. And I feel that putting it in some kind of a sculpture setting with this looping function, you're kind of mixing or trying to enlarge that kind of thinking. So that is something I've been working on with this.
Well, I think, I mean, of course, the first thing is that everything which is moving is always sort of draws our attention to.
Yeah.
So we have to look at things that are moving.
Yeah.
We cannot avoid that. But at the next level, it's really you look at it, you look at it, but then you also get the feeling that you are not really seeing everything, because I mean, you show the characters in such a short time
Yeah.
that some of them you just sort of you see parts of it, and it's like continuous transformation. But you also you never sort of finish in you never end up with the impression that you really saw it,
No.
because it just in the moment you sort of see it, it was already gone in a
Yeah.
certain
Yeah.
way,
Yes.
which is also a little bit mean, because it sort of it keeps you really hooked up, and you watch it and watch it and watch it, because you somehow think somewhere you might actually realize what you're actually seeing, but
Yeah.
it's never happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that like something like?
I was interesting, like when I started the work of something about animation as like transforming or something, transforming characters. But then, of course, I mean, then it kind of became this work that it's some of the characters you can't even see it. So
Right.
it's something, but I like that, like the idea of video as a trick in some way. Because I felt like with some kind of these techniques, it's a lot of kind of like nuggets in some way. It's very much in your face. It doesn't really, it grabs your attention. It doesn't really, I don't know, I can only describe it if you have a painting. It has another aura in some way. Video is much more, it's an aggressiveness to it. And I don't know. It's also something about, like personally for me, animation and the hand-drawn animation that I'm drawn to is very much. It's time consuming. It's the idea of craftsmanship. I've done so many hours to do these 3 frames and stuff like that. And in some way, it's kind of funny and idiotic in some way to do frames that is not even visible in the finished work. So it's something about this idea of what is a waste of time and stuff like that. But yeah. But as you said, I mean, it's really funny about, okay, how do I get people interested in their work? I trick them. So they stand longer. I mean, it's a very kind of funny.
You attract them with something like with the nice colors, and then with this sort of comic figures doing strange things. So you're like you catch the attraction, and then once you look at it, then you're sort of trapped in this kind of very short sequence movement, and it's hard to get out of there.
Exactly.
Again, that's sort of so that also means that you're interested to sort of play or research on the technical setups, let's put it that way, of the media.
Yeah, that is something that I used before. Also, like with the shift in characters that are moving so fast, it almost are becoming kind of like an epileptic kind of. It's very much like, and I don't know, often when that effect is kind of used, it says warning before. So it's almost kind of, I don't know, it's the idea of like video and lighting being dangerous or something, being something that you should be careful with.
Right. So therefore it's really nice that we have also something sort of to cool off. That's like your work, Désirée. So, okay, so now from the red we shift to the blue.
Yes.
So, Désirée, what can you tell us about your installation?
It's an installation that are made here on site in the other exhibition room, but it's on site specifically work where I has different kinds of levels. It's like almost like a situational conceptual work because we are 7 artists in this exhibition. We are traveling down here in a transport in a car. That does limited of space. So what can I work with and something light and also in the aspect of this Refectorium, I started to think about first I wanted to do a wall drawing, but that didn't work to do this here, and then I thought about baking paper. So this is baking paper, that doesn't weigh anything, it's light, and was like suitable for the topic. And I want to make it on the site because I was influenced by this space, of course, and this site, and also about the other artists. So I could on the site pick up elements from the other works, like this Timo's. The different nuances of blue came in this, so I choose like 3 different kinds of blue. It's really cold and warm blue, and there are elements of this green middle room outside between these exhibition spaces, and also was influenced by this roof and this armature here, like these waves. So I made this here just the other day, and then I improvised. I got this wall and I improvised and made a composition trying to hang, how do they behave. So these sheets, these baking fat surface sheets wants to behave like this, I noticed, because they have been rolled and packed. So, yeah, and to find a dynamic in this. So for me it was like this material, the color of the material is the color, and it was like they were visiting these baking sheets. So that's...
I mean, we have been talking already a little bit before, so when you were installing the first things, and
Yeah.
I was really fascinated by the fact that sort of from the first glance, from the distance, you don't really have the impression that it's something fragile as paper or so. It becomes a different kind of material quality. It's only when you're close or when there's a little bit of wind and that they're moving, then you see. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, they look quite solid,
Yes.
sort of.
Yes.
And they also, my first sort of thought was that they reminded me a little bit of this sort of fake marble columns you can find in some old churches when they, or particularly in not in the centers, but in some villages where they did not have money to put marble columns in their church, so they were having just wooden columns, or they plastered them with gips, and then they painted them so that they look like marble. And this also has a little bit of this kind of feeling that the paper becomes something different. You're masking it a little bit, and then also a certain irritation comes from that, because then you discover, oh, it's just paper, it's something light, it's not heavy, it's something different. And also the forms, it has a lot of this Baroque forms of the rocailles, and So very playful actually, and becomes something different. It's not. It's less paper than it actually is, I think.
Yeah, it is baking paper.
Okay, so baking paper.
But also like constructed for the oven to put like
Right.
bullar.
So it's not made for painting. Oh.
No, I think
in the first place.
No, they have another experience now.
Right.
The baking papers.
Right.
Compared to what they were made for. So
How does this? I mean, I've seen other works of yours. So how is this work referring or connected with your other works?
Well, it's. I mean, this is the way I paint when I have a brush and a little bit of fabric. So this is the way I work. I work rather fast, and I'm triggered by working site specifically. But I usually work large scales and also with, canvas. So it was very exciting to do this experiment with this light, and it doesn't weigh anything. You can let it
Right.
easy for this concept, for this exhibition. Yes, also. And it also chooses the colors of. I mean, this is a red.
Yeah,
Red
it's really like
so it's a it's a
cooling off a little bit
Yeah.
of this heavy red from the videos and also the very almost aggressive movement of the videos. So it's like a cooling off space a little bit.
Cool, yeah.
Right. So from the cooling off space, there's also a little bit of cooling off space with the carpet, so maybe we can move on to that. So this is, as far as I learned, it's work from Timo Menke, and it's a quite conceptual work and a very theoretical work, as all of his works.
Very process-based work, and
Right.
with many layers.
So it's a carpet, a printed carpet, and it's a photograph.
It's both works are photos
And
and prints.
they belong to each other, sort of.
Yes.
So it's one work actually, as far as I
Yeah, they are called the recycling loop 1 and 2, and it's the same motive. It's photos of a mirror hanging in the ceiling, half sphere.
Okay. Yeah.
So things are happening under the mirror.
Okay. So it's reflection, and the reflection also reflects the process of actually the setting up.
Yeah.
Because you see the clamps, sort of. So it's also sort of it's a self-reference. It's an image in an image in a certain way.
And it's a recycling of an artwork by another artist, a modernist from the 60s. I don't know the name of the artist. The colors you see. It's a painting on a paper, I think.
Oh, okay.
That is turned into a Möbius band.
Yeah. Ribbon.
Yeah.
Möbius ribbon. Yeah.
And the photographer is hidden behind plastic, so you can see the shape of him, and the camera lens is in the middle. Yesterday I told your intern about how this was made. And she said, "Thank you, now you destroyed the work for me." So,
That's interesting. Yes.
yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So it's very mysterious, and when you can look at it for a long time, you get so many strange thoughts. What is it?
I mean, in a certain way, it's also functioned a little bit like Oscar's videos. So you look at it because you have no idea what you're looking at, sort of, and you sort of also get trapped because you see single elements, but then you cannot really put them together, and but you think, yeah, but what you end up that you don't come to a point where you can say, oh, I saw it, or I realize I have an idea of what I saw, because you don't really know what you're seeing.
Exactly.
And you might see single elements, but then also the elements, they are not coming together. They're becoming more and more mysterious. So
and they're also different in the way that here the motive here is himself. Timo, the artist, is in a suit, a sniper suit.
Okay, so it's also this guy. Okay.
And he's like standing under the mirror.
Yeah. So it's also his two times. So it's like him from above and his hands like from
So it's alter ego. He's interested in a mythical figure that is something in between man and tree.
Okay. Yes.
And he's using it in different performances.
So actually he's layering, and it's like almost there are a lot of layers which are sort of not really connected to each other, maybe. Maybe
I
they
think
are.
he would say they are connected.
Yes.
But maybe it's hard to see. You have to talk.
It's not really direct connection.
No.
Okay, so I think we move to the other space. See what's there.
I will just go and pick up the crank gramophone. These things happen sometimes. I named it the Holy Trinity because there are three sounds, and in this fantastic fig tree is me as a 5-year-old in a discussion with my father, who at that time was my age right now, and he calls it "What do you think?" And we talk about God and cosmos and relations. So it's about 20 minutes loop. Behind the blue skin, cow skin, There is a loop of about 3.5 minutes. It's a bass line and a melody from jazz great late legend Eric Dolphy, which is called a composition called Hat and Beard, from the record Out to Lunch, 1964. He made it. It's a masterpiece, and he made it. 3 months later, he died in Berlin. He's from Los Angeles, and the recording of that bass is on a mariachi bass, which is a Mexican upright double bass, who just happened to appear for me. And I recorded it in Los Angeles, July 2023. You hear it now. And the record who was playing, that was called Guitar Boogie. And it's a very famous record. Yeah. Questions?
You also have a sound and the video piece inside, which is also collaboration with you, Johan.
Yeah.
As far as I understood.
Yeah, in that case I was filming a performance, and it wasn't planned, but it became a film that is 11 minutes long. It's one take, so it was like a dance between us, the filmer and the performer.
I invited Johan to film whatever he liked to film. I invited Désirée to film whatever she liked to film. And I said, I'm going to do a performance by the grave site of late great jazz legend Eric Dolphy, who lies there in
Also, he was not buried in
Angelus Rosedale Cemetery. Plot 140 and space something. Anyhow, he's there, and his parents is beside him. They died after him.
So he died in Berlin, but they transferred him to Los Angeles.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. And he was only 36.
Okay.
And this video is shown on a piece that we call Rymdprogrammet Open Studio. And it's an office table, could we say? Yeah.
We bring with us. We have this open office, open studio wherever we go. Try to at least.
Dan, so your art practice is audio based and performance based, right? Is that?
No, if you want.
So what's important about the performance part in the whole thing? I mean, you could just sort of place audio pieces somewhere and that's it. But
for me, the most important thing is that it ends.
It starts and ends.
It always ends.
Okay, but it has to start.
Maybe.
Okay. and the performance, does that mark the start?
To me, it's everywhere. It has started since I don't know when, long before I started living in this body. I'm just a traveler, but I have some skills. I can end it, and by ending it, it becomes maybe understandable, maybe.
So, how much are you of yourself when you're performing?
Always.
You're always yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Like right now. I don't wake up looking like this. That's for sure.
I don't know how you look like when you wake up.
I know, we don't yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So you're not playing a role when you're performing?
No, then it's theater. I don't do I don't do theater.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I do performance.
Yeah.
And music.
Yeah.
Genau.
And
yesterday, there was a completely different piece than we're hearing now. Mm-hmm. That was performance day 1, and now it's performance day 2.
Right.
In the piece in 1, Actually, it was Johan who taught me, because he is him, that shit, damn. Because our first collaboration was very funny. Johan came with a box, and it's a bit a casket, but it's also a box, and it has some kind of space value, I would say. And he said, "Hey Dan, how about you do a sound for this box? What do you think?" And what I then did was, because I have the kind of history I have, I used my own birth into this box. And that was actually on display yesterday in this fig tree. So my both parents and me, and I was born
In the fig
again. And on top of that, I was playing double bass with a very good friend of mine, Elsa Bergman from Stockholm, from a performance in another Rymdprogrammet installment called Bass Camp, which was March 2023. So I'm also constantly reusing sounds because I'm in the space program. So, hello.
You should tell about that it was a film. You were born into a movie.
Yeah, and look how that made me. Yeah.
His birth was on film.
It's an instructional film, free to stream from the film database in Sweden. It's called Birth. It was released 1 year after I was born. Instructional video in calm, natural birth, which nothing was natural about it, but they sold it that way, and it became.
When did you become aware of that there was this film about your birth?
Oh shit, that's a good question. I think they made me look at it some point.
But when you were a child?
When I was a child, yeah.
Okay.
When I was a child, yeah.
So quite early. So. But
my parents liked to how do you say, expose me to like birth and deaths and these kind of strong human.
I mean, I think from a perspective of today, it sort of sounds or makes a bit an awkward impression, but then on the other side, was it the 60s or the 70s?
78 I'm born.
Okay, so the 70s, I mean, it was another time, and people were more naive, but also less worried about a lot of things.
Sure.
We now are all like more aware of, and of course this kind of exposure was I mean, there was no internet there, and so people did not really think about what that could sort of mean, or like privacy, and to expose intimacy, and the intentions, the idea about it was probably very, very idealistic. So I think it's difficult.
It was a new method called psychoprophylax. Psychoprophylax, a French method. And that was this one, how do you say, the person who helps, midwife.
Yeah.
Midwife Signe Jansson, a pioneer. Yeah. So this film was very much about her pioneering work.
I think, and
that my parents are, and my parents are I mean, linslusa. How do you say that in?
I don't know.
Linslusa.
They like to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, exhibitionists and also very political, very activists, and yes.
Yeah.
And me, yes.
To sort of also share sort of their experience, knowledge.
Yeah, and they were driving people too. I mean, they made movements. That's who they are.
Oh.
Yeah.
that were the times for that.
Also. Yeah, but not everyone makes it to the parliament and becomes
Right.
the leader for
Yeah.
10 years of the Linke, der Linke in Sweden.
Yeah.
Not everyone does that.
Right.
But my mother did. And my father filmed the birth, and then he filmed the death of his mother, natural death, on the hospital, the last moments.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe his strongest movie, documentary filmmaker. Yeah. So he was filming all of me growing up also. There were children programs of me learning how to crawl, how to stand, walk, talk, eat, getting injured.
Do you think that's responsible for your affiliation with sound and not affiliation with visuals?
Actually, more like with art, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Life as art. Yeah. Yeah. Or if it's the other way, I don't know.
Okay, that's actually a good point. Like life is art, so there's more art to see in the backspace. So shall we do that? So we now move to the back exhibition space, and we start with this audio installation. Is that right? Yep. That's a collaboration between Dawn and you, Johan. So, yeah, maybe you want to say something about that.
The idea is to connect sound recordings with objects and sculptures or installations. And in this case, we were inspired by the Das ESSZIMMER, and I had recently bought this oven.
So it's still working?
It's
never
new.
Used it.
It's never used. You have the plastic around there.
Okay, but it could work.
I hope so, really.
So you're going to use it after
Yes,
the
it will be in my studio later. Yeah. So, but right now it's here and it has a sound, and Dawn came with this sound that was, I think, supposed for some other sculpture, and then I don't actually remember how it happened to end in there, but the work is called Out in the Meadows. It's out in the field, ute i hagen in Swedish, and
well, actually, this particular sound, I had to work quite a lot to get it.
Yeah.
Because I know where the cows are, so I visited them, and that took some time, around 50 minutes, for them to accept me coming so close that the cow is there and I'm recording.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this already existed.
Yeah.
You had presented this to me, and I presented some sounds, and we was not really happy about it. I remember.
Yeah,
so we had a break for some time, and then I made this.
No. We have two versions for this oven.
Yeah, but we're not presenting.
No. But it's cows eating grass that you hear. That's important because it can be different.
On a summer meadow at beautiful Österlen in the region of Skåne in south of Sweden.
So is that, I mean, you already mentioned this kind of collaboration and you've been outside in the garden. So is it this kind of constellation that Johan, you come up with like an object or a sculpture, and then you say, Dawn, think about some sound.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can change and move it from one object to another.
Okay.
Suddenly we find that it's better in that one. So it's very important with the object, what object it is.
So did you also do it the other way around, so that Dawn is coming with a sound piece and says, Johan, think about an object.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so it goes in both.
Yes.
Oh,
and mostly I tend to use field recordings. That's the method anyway.
Yeah. Like not artificial that you're playing something, but you're going outside. And so did you had from the beginning then the idea that this is the cows sort of chewing, eating, that could be it, or did you
because
try out different things?
I do try out different things, but mostly in my head. And then I do what I need to have.
Yeah. And were you, I mean, you were then satisfied with what you found, or was it also a surprise?
No, I thought I got it.
Yeah.
And maybe in a total of 2 hours together with these cows. At the end, they didn't like me at all.
Why not?
But so we separated calmly. And
so you were too disturbing for them.
I was not a cow, yes. Not enough cow. I was not enough cow.
Okay, yeah.
I did imitate them a little to play.
Okay.
And some liked it, some not so much.
Okay.
Like the young ones liked it. Yeah.
So shall we go to another collaboration, which is also just a temporary thing? Your studio here, you set up, because it's also a collaboration, right? Okay. Now, so
we take
we are
the
now
sound.
Yeah, you can do it. Try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
Right. So this is a temporary installation just for like yesterday the opening and for the day, and then it will go out of the exhibition. And as far as I understood, it's something that it's like a tiny office. You call it a studio, and you move it to different places. Is that correct? As far as I.
Well, it's a symbol in one way of an office, and it's for the gallery space or wherever we.
So it's the office in the office now.
Yes. But it's a possibility to sit down and look at this video, and Dawn can make a performance using the.
Yeah, we had some fun yesterday at the vernissage.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it was.
So it's a little bit relationell esthétique. Do you have that word in? It's a Swedish term. Relational aesthetics. It's about when it's the people are involved in the art. The visitors are activated. They are activated. It's like a give and take.
Yeah.
And they are influencing what happens.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't know where the art ends or where it starts. It's process.
Yeah.
And this film is the film from that you talked about.
The cemetery.
He lives in his music, which also is the epitaph on late great jazz legend Eric Dolphy's gravestone. So what a beautiful epitaph.
So, like this work here and your performance yesterday and now just before the camera, they're sort of also a bit interconnected, right?
Yeah, it's a continuation somehow.
It's okay.
Yeah, somehow.
Since when did you set up the first studio and then sort of take it with you?
It was 8th of June 1978.
But I was not there.
I just wanted to say.
Yeah. But
I was somewhere else.
But you taught me that it was then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
In one way. Yeah. Our first physical collaboration was in 2 years ago. When I invited him to do something with this box.
Yeah.
And then we have continued developing the concept, and it's still under development. So we will see where it goes. And it's taking the different directions.
So
I
right
mean, it's
now
sort
I'm
of nice.
bored.
It's also like a mini installation, a moving mini installation, which is sort of travels to different places and then changes a little bit and sort of mingles into the space. Or so it's
In this case, it was your brilliant idea to put it in your office.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it was
makes sense.
sort of. It was sort of a bit alone and lost in the other places, and when I sort of understood a little bit more of what the idea is behind that, I thought, yeah, then move it into let it become part of the office. And I mean, it's
okay if it looks alone and lost, but it was a little bit a problem with connecting with the other table there,
right.
which is another work.
So they
were too close to each other. So that's why this was a very good solution.
But I think here it's really it's very charming because I mean it sort of integrates, but of course it also doesn't integrate because the aesthetic is different, very much different. That's.
Yeah, and it's very nice with the sofa.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's actually it's just yeah. That are these nice coincidences that sometimes happen.
And it was very good. I could
but the sofa
sleep
stays
under
here.
This.
Okay. So we continue with your work, Johan. So you have well. Would you call, is it like 2 paintings and 2 objects, or is it an installation?
It's both, but it's mostly it's 2 paintings and 2 objects. And the thing is that these 2 are old things from 1998 and 1999. And I picked them up now for this exhibition because it's of the name, Refectorium and das ESSZIMMER, and they are both associated with eating. I mean, this is sort of a table-like or kitchen-like thing, even if it's only, it's different ready-mades. I used a lot of ready-mades and put them into sculptures, and
Put like a mini single-person kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. Compact living, and it's called Apollo after the moon traveling project.
Because you put
They had very compact living in those. Yeah. So. And this one is the box is made of the shape from a cartoon for bananas, premium bananas. You know, Chiquita. Chiquita, yeah. So it fits exactly inside such a box. So it's very precise. And this is champagne glasses, plastic. One,
okay.
that I have painted. So and they are sticking out through the ventilation holes. Yeah. So, but then the banana case is somewhere here. I use it for transporting it.
Yes.
Yeah. So my work has always been about mobile things and changing a flow.
Does it has something? I mean, is there a connection between being you also an architect?
Yeah, yes. I don't know.
Well, I just came across that sort of like in preparation of the exhibition and seeing like your websites and your CVs, and then I thought, oh, he built houses. And so I mean, so yeah.
Yeah. It was. I have always thought a lot about what is the art and what is architecture and what is the connection, and when does it end to be, when is architecture art and when is it not, and when this thing about using something for to an purpose, and what is the purpose of art and everything like that. But I left art after art school after 2 years and went into architecture and worked as an architect for 10 years, and then I was fed up with it and went back to art, and then I wanted to do painting, so I'm doing much more painting now. So these paintings are from this year, and it's part of a project I'm into now, which is a very intuitive painting method that I try to work with my unconscious and putting myself in a state of doing things without planning, and trying to fool myself in different ways of not doing as I used to do. So it's a struggle about of not doing the same again and again, trying to, and then also, of course, fixing it with your consciousness and choosing what is working, what is not working.
So, is that, I mean, the approach for the paintings and the approach for the objects, is it very different, or is it in a certain way similar?
Yeah, it's very different in the way that with the colors and the pencils you can do things very fast,
right? Yeah.
And intuitively. But these are slow. Yeah. I mean, this is a painting on that sculpture that is. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a painted sculpture. Yeah, but this is more.
Then you have to more like think and try out and construct and.
Yeah, but then the ready-mades are like I see something. Wow, that I have a lot of things around me, and then suddenly something fits. Okay. Yes. And then it's the process of where and how. Right. And maybe take it away again, until it's.
So was it this exhibition, as you sort of referred a little bit earlier on, that made you sort of dig out these older works, or was it?
No, I have done it in other exhibitions this year. So it's this year.
You rediscovered this.
Yeah, I started to connect with my older self, and found out that it worked very well together, and gave something to each other, and I will continue this because it's me. I have to do painting. I have to do this. Right. I have to do that. So it's very much a progress, going from different sort of activities, and.
So what's for you the interesting thing, or what is the attractive thing in the collaboration with Dan, with the audio thing, sort of to bring two different media together somehow, or to expand a little bit, or? Yeah, it opens up so many new possibilities to get an object to be something else than you see it as an oven, and suddenly when you put the sound inside it, it gets to be something else. Right. Yeah. And that fascinates me. How we look at things and what they mean. Yeah, you can shift it. Yeah, and how you see them. What the shapes are meant to become in our understanding. That you I think art is about open up our senses and our way of reading life. To become new, like also the meaning of Refectorium is a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so let's move to the other two installations, objects that are here. But artists that are not present, but someone of you will sort of tell something about it.
Yeah, it was
Okay, so that's a work by Anna
Hillbom.
Hillbom, and unfortunately she couldn't be here, but she sent a text.
Yep.
Let's get surprised.
These objects are like in different kinds of material. We have wax, we have wood, we have ceramics, aluminium. This is aluminium. Och gips. And she sent me a text. The title for this sculpture group is called A Blind Eye Filled with Seeing as It Sleeps. And it's borrowed from a text by Anne Carson, the title. The background is that it is a story told about a one-eyed man who is being cured from his blindness by sleeping the night in the temple of Asclepius, so the medicine god in the Greek mythology could heal him. So during the night, the gods would boil a remedy and pour it into his empty eye, and when he woke up, he was able to see again. The possibility to sleep oneself into recovery in the temple of Epidaurus was a common belief in the ancient Greece. Various forms of dream therapy and spiritual guidance was performed there. So Anna Hillbom, she has for a long time been using the bowl shape, which is one of the archaic forms that she likes to repeat in her sculpture work. And she says that she came to think of the potential in the bowl shape as the cup of a hand, an eyeball, or container, in relation to the theme of invigoration, as well as the act of performing a healing, refreshing, or even enlightening action. A bowl of water, food, or medicine with a function to revitalize, to cure, or quench someone's thirst. An empty eye is filled with a mending brew from the gods, and the blind person can see again, a form of magical thinking, if you will, or a way of creating new images and unthought of ways of voyaging. And then there's also a little text by Anne Carson. I don't think I need to read that, but it's a praise of sleep. Every entrance is an exit, is the name of this text that she's referring this sculpture group to. Yeah.
So it seems that she really is exploring sort of very basic forms, let's put it that way, like the bowl or the container, if it's like the eye as a container. So it's also, then she expands it a little bit in a more poetic context, and creates this somehow sort of basic archaic forms, but then also they seem familiar, but they're not familiar. They're not existing. So she creates new forms. Of course, they are similar. I mean, they're sort of like the egg-shaped thing, but then the egg is a bowl, and also this kind of materials are really very basic materials in a certain way, very simple things. And the nice thing is that you can sort of see that the hand, the craft,
the craftships,
that it's not industrial thing, that it's.
And it's an unexpected brutality also of this. When I read the text that she's influenced by and so on, with this eye, it's really something really physical.
Right.
With this cup of eye, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a brutality that it's very unexpected for me when I view this
Yeah.
also very aesthetic, beautiful forms.
Yeah.
I think.
But there's also this I mean, it's also the healing process.
Yeah.
So
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Exactly. And
the
therapy. And
it's also with the healing. It also means that the container is filled, so the I is filled, and so the container, the emptiness is also has the potential to be filled with something. So all those bowls and openness could be sort of
yeah, it's
filled.
on all the pieces here. Yes.
Right.
Yes, yes.
So-
yeah.
It's very sort of very calm objects. I was also surprised because she seems to be very open, so we were completely free in the way to arrange it.
Yeah, there
But
are
there is not a special
a lot of
it could have been
possibilities.
also
Yeah.
that she says, so it has to be
Yeah.
arranged exactly that way, and it also always has to be that way. So it's more like it's not a puzzle, but it's sort of it's also something playful in it. Then when you have
Well,
single pieces
yeah.
that you can sort of rearrange, sort of, and then the big parts, the big pieces. You told me they could be also sort of lean towards the wall.
lean towards the wall and also hang on the wall really low.
as
a sort of
alternative installation ways. So
yeah, I think
it's very adaptive to the site and to the space. But I think it's nice here that it's sort of on the floor. That's because when it's on the floor, this kind of container concept becomes even stronger, I think. So we move to the big wall piece in the background. So
this is Christine Manderla's work, and she also sent a text that I would like to read. When I was first presented with the theme, Refectorium, I could not really see how it related to my work, where it did make sense as its connection to the term ESSZIMMER, which is German for dining room, or translated directly to eating room. But she did some research and thought about this, the place, what it actually was, and what it could be like metaphorically or physically. So she got stuck with this Refectorium. To repeat, to do again, also raised more questions than it provide answers, actually. But she seems to find that interesting. So considering my reflections and research, I would like to divide just into 3 parts. Looking at it as a place of nourishment, recover, rechange, and transformation to do again. So first it's like mental nourishment, serving a feminist perspective, historical content of feminist art, nursing care such as clothes making, textiles seen as less valuable while textile is popular. The underlying issue persists, therefore, Refectorium, to do again. Space to reflect, rechange, transform, seeing the space and oneself through a different lens. Transformation and rebirth. Layers of fabric relate to layers of thought, emotions, and individual experiences. Change of perspective, its shift in transparency provides a new window into a world of different possibilities. Repair and connect, patchworks, college, traditional clothes making material and technique which have and are used to make restricting clothes which make traditional clothes making material and technique which have and are used to make restricting clothes which make women into an adornment, taking those and putting them on a wall where adornments belong. object versus subject, etc. Critique on how women are viewed. She's in a process now of formulating all this, but that was like some general thoughts with her work in general and connected to this topic. And Johan is actually, you have something to do with this nails, right?
Yeah, we were talking about how to put it up on the wall, and I suggested that you should have something brutal.
Yeah. For a contrast.
Contrast to the fabric.
Yeah.
And she found these nails, which are very brutal.
Yes.
And I think it works very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it shifts the work more, the aspect of like ripped textiles and material becomes stronger through this huge nails, which are really sort of, they are also not really necessary. I mean, they are sort of, actually they're useless because they are, the whole thing is so light. You don't really need these huge things to hold it up, but it gives it this sort of brutal aspect, so that you have the feeling this thing was once together and then it was sort of like torn apart. That's
and you kind of feel sorry for the wall. It's a big hard.
Yeah. So she, it's something what sort of goes through her works, that she's working with textiles and with this really very, I mean, actually they look through, they're quite fragile, they're not really holding a lot.
I've seen this kind of work before. This is the larger one. But you have,
Yeah, it was just that she's also making small
small objects.
Small objects of the same kind.
Okay. How much smaller? Just like 50 centimeters, really small ones.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a part of the size? But what do they change in when you view them? Because here I think, I mean, for me this kind of size makes completely sense, and it's hard to imagine a smaller size of it. But thinking that something smaller becomes more an image and less an object.
No, it's actually very similar.
Okay, it still works as an object.
The difference is the relation with your body.
Okay, okay.
It's bigger than you or smaller than
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we are now at the end of the conversation, and it was not only a conversation, it was also a tour through the exhibition with the artist. So I would like to thank you again. So Désirée and all the others for the exhibition and for the time, for the conversation, and for the great collaboration.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having
Thank you, Sibylle.